Thank you for joining me on my channel, The Lost Cat Fig Farm. I try to garden organically, although it is not always possible. Um, this is a picture taken last year. I don't want to hurt that nice bumblebee there. They don't really damage the figs, or very little damage. But that yellow wasp, they will devour a whole fig in one day, maybe him or 2 or 3 of his buddies. I spray them with some liquid dish soap and water. That seems to drive them away and gives me time to pick the figs before they eat them, but they do eat quite a few. This is one of my white Madeira fig trees. I grew it from a cutting in 2021, in this early spring, and this year it's getting figs, main crop figs. It's in a 3-gallon grow bag, and I can pull it up in the fall and overwinter it in our shed so it doesn't die back. The other white Madeiras, its sister plants that I had planted in ground, did die back all the way to the ground last winter, their first winter. And we're in zone 7B, so I don't want to lose all this fantastic growth. So I am going to put it in the shed for the winter. And I noticed here, I think I have some wild, I think this is Greek oregano. I might be wrong, but I know I planted some last year. And the seeds are spread out wild to this area here. And I just noticed recently that the bees love this, especially the baby bees and the mature bees. I'll try to, there's a grown-up bee. Now the bumblebees don't usually bother me. They don't sting me. I think they sense that I'm a caretaker of the flowers. And there's lots of baby bees in the area. This area is a little wild because it's hard for me to get at. It had a lot of weeds in it last year that I did get in there and I pulled because they were attracting June bugs, which I hate. The June bugs attack my grape plants and my grapevines. So this is really nice to find a plant that spreads so easily and does not seem to attract the June bugs, but instead the bees that we need so much. There's a baby. I especially like to see the baby bees because from what I read recently, bumblebees don't live that long. So it's nice that they are having babies. And having them in the area is great. This stuff attracts them and it helps draw them to my tomatoes, pollinate my tomatoes. Keeps them in the area, so in the spring they'll pollinate my fruit trees, hopefully. Have a young fruit tree orchard. We have lots of fig trees. The fig trees don't need pollination, but we also have another bush here that's kind of growing well. I think this is borage. Looking at the flowers, they're like a little purple flower. And there's a bee there now. I have to be careful I don't step on them. Plants are flopped over. But there's one right now. Oh, here's another one. I just have a pretty purple bell-shaped flower. Oh, here's one. There he is. So they're very attracted to these also. Getting lots of figs this year. This is our green battaglia. I cut it back a lot last year. I do sell cuttings on eBay and on Etsy. So green battaglia is very it's a favorite. It's a green Adriatic fig. It's got like a red ruby, sweet berry type, raspberry-ish type of flavor on the inside. This is our Sicilian. Lots of figs. These have been in the ground. This is their 4th summer. This is, we've got Chicago Hardy here. I trim these back a lot every year. The Chicago Hardy, I'm trying to let it grow taller. It's reached a point where it's growing slowly, but it's just really just about a perfect height because you can come out here and reach them very easily. So lots of figs. And these should be starting to ripen by the end of this month. We're in July. In fact, today's July 3rd. And then, of course, the bees are also attracted to the cucumber flowers, so we are getting some cucumbers. See, there's one now. There it goes. And here's a cucumber now. Oh, this one looks picking size. They're better if they don't get too big because the seeds get bigger and harder when they age. So, try not to break the vine when I pull it off. And these are seeds I saved from the cucumbers I grew last year. These were straight 8s, so I'm going to try one today. I'm going to go in the house and make a salad. I have some in the fridge. Another thing the bees have been pollinating are the tomatoes. We've got lots of these clusters of grape tomatoes. And I do see the bees in there at times. Don't see any right now, but there's lots of tomatoes in there. So these will turn a bright red when they're ripe. A nice cluster. And this area is a Hugel garden that we buried. We dug up the ground and we buried wood and put a lot of straw and put the leaves of the branches and some trees we had to cut down. And everything gets pretty big in this Hugel culture garden. It's a really small garden, actually. We have a trellis. Go this way. Here's this one. There's a big tree just stuck a little branch of Chicago Hardy in the ground a couple of years ago, right at the base of the Hugel garden, with the idea that it would keep the soil from eroding and draining out because it is on a hill. It's just a little garden, but it produces a lot. Every winter, though, I put compost in the ground. I just bury it. I come out with my kitchen compost and bury it in the ground. So by the spring, it has disappeared. So here's one of our cucumbers chopped up. This is like the first 2 cucumbers we got this season. And of course, all these peels will go in the compost. And I'm working on a salad. This is mostly bib lettuce that I tore up and we grew in our garden. This is organic. The cucumbers are organic. Do they taste better than store-bought vegetables? Maybe, yes, because I grew them myself and I'd like to think that, but I mean, it's a cucumber. And lettuce is lettuce. It's edible. It's not really sweet. It's a bib lettuce. That's good. And in the salad that I'm going to make, I'm going to add some organic Vidalia onions and other stuff that I did have to buy at the supermarket that's not organic, such as tomatoes and radishes. But we grow some of our own things, but I'm just learning still. So I'm happy that I'm getting something to grow at least. I dice everything up to put in the salad. There's onions, radishes, lettuce, and the peppers I'll do the same with. The pepper seeds, sometimes I'll dry them and save them and try to grow them next season. Or I feed them to the chickens. The chickens love seeds. I'm adding 1 large tomato. I did buy this at the supermarket. It's not organic. I can't afford to buy organic vegetables at the supermarket. And plus be investing in our own property here, trying to build up our garden. But the tomatoes are pretty nice. I hope that the ones that we're growing will be as nice when they ripen. We're growing pink brandywine and mortgage lifter beefsteak tomatoes this year. I like to put extra sharp cheddar cheese in. I dice it up and it adds protein and calcium to the salad. Then I toss everything together. Voila! A quick, healthy, garden fresh salad. Ready for your summer lunch. Low in calories, great in antioxidants and other nutritious vitamins to help you stay healthy. And then just enjoy. Refrigerate. It lasts a couple days in the refrigerator. After that, it starts getting a little watered down. But I'll show you what I do with the compost next after I put the salad away. This is my Desert King fig tree. And this one I did plant in ground this spring. I hope I didn't make a mistake. I'm going to have to wrap it this year because the other Desert Kings, they died back to the ground last winter. This tree, this is also I grew from a cutting, and it's getting some ripe rebas, and we have a terrible problem with wasps, those big giant European wasps. So what I did, I used to put the mesh bags around them, and the wasp ate right through those little party baggies that a lot of people do use. Those bags are good for keeping off the flies, but what I actually did was I bought aluminum screen and I cut it into small pieces and I wrapped it around the figs. So hopefully the wasp won't be able to get at the figs. And here's another one ripening. And this is just about when the hornets appear. This is when the figs are getting nice and ripe and we'll be able to eat them, and then the hornets will come and get them before we do. They can, I don't mind if they eat some of them, but I don't want them eating my only 2 Desert King Breba that I have. I've never tasted Desert King Breba, and I really want to try it. I've heard that they taste great. We're also getting the main crop figs, but they probably won't develop to maturity and ripen because we don't have the fig wasp, and Desert King's a San Pedro type of figs. The Breba crop requires a very special pollinator wasp. So, but we'll see. It's in a nice spot here. It's against the back of a shed. And this is what I wanted to show you about the compost. I just compost my kitchen scraps. Usually I wait till this is full. There's coffee in there. There's some of the stuff I just got from making salad. So what I do, I'll show you what's under there first. Look at all these. Now I thought these things were disgusting at first, these bugs, but I looked them up and found out these are actually beneficial insects. They're very high in protein, the chickens love eating them. They are called black soldier fly larvae. I'll probably take some out and give them to my chickens as a snack, but I'm not going to give them all. So what I do is I dump the compost in there. Sorry. And my hands get so dirty doing all this, but it's good clean dirt the way I look at it. And I'll cover that with some newspaper or some cardboard. And this way it won't draw so many flies. I'm just going to spread it out. See, here's my cucumber peels. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching.